This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream. Refreshing wild cherry cola meets smooth cream. The treat you deserve. Pepsi Wild Cherry and Cream. Treat yourself.
Hi, it's Dave here. This is my wife, Kathy.
Hello.
This is the Cinemile. It's the podcast where we walk home from the movies. Today we're walking to a movie called Project Hail Mary, and I could not be more excited because this is the movie I've been waiting for months.
Why are you so excited about this?
Okay, several reasons. Several things have converged that I like, okay? Number one, space films.
Yeah, love a space film.
Number two, Ryan Gosling. I like him.
Love Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling in space. First Man, that was good.
That was a great film.
Yeah.
It has been reviewed on this podcast.
So blast Ryan Gosling into space, let's go. I'm in.
Yeah.
Another thing I'm excited about, I love sci-fi and I love not knowing the plot of a movie going into it, particularly ones that are science fiction or fantasy and that could be a nice, interesting hook, and I don't know anything about it except Ryan Gosling's in space.
Yeah, we've been avoiding trailers. I have contemplated reading the book in advance, decided against it. So we really are going in totally cold on the plot.
Another reason I'm excited about this movie is because, yeah, it's based on a book by Andy Weir, who wrote the book The Martian. I haven't read either of his books, but I did see the film The Martian, and I thought it was excellent.
Had a great time. Did we review that in the cinema?
No, I think it was
before
we started the podcast. But it's a great movie. So that's another reason. The last reason I'm excited is because I think this might be a big claim. I think Lord and Miller are my two favourite creatives at the moment, my two favourite filmmakers.
Well, the last thing I remember them making or being involved in was the Han Solo movie, which I don't recall the cinema giving a rave to. I'm referring to us as if it's a publication.
Well, hang on, they famously were fired from that movie, so that's not their movie.
What? So
Ron Howard was brought in to finish that movie.
Now, I enjoyed Solo, by the way, but I wasn't like, wow, what a film.
Yeah, but sorry,
So
you can't
did they
don't land the Han Solo movie at their
So
doorstep.
what have they made then?
They actually
As your
haven't
favourite
directed
creative?
anything in years, not since 22 Jump Street. But they, going back,
Wow.
big fan of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs,
Love
the
that.
Lego
Yeah.
movies,
Brilliant.
love all them. Even used to watch their show before I knew it was them, Clone High, which was their first animated show, which was fantastic, about a high school animated series about a load of cloned famous people. So Cleopatra and JFK and loads of other
But what have
people.
they made in like the last 5 years?
The one they're probably most famous for more in the last few years is the Spider-Verse movies.
Oh,
which
yeah,
they,
amazing.
Yeah, so
I
they
forgot
didn't
they were
direct
involved.
those, but I think Phil Lord wrote the first one. Now there's been some controversy. We don't have time to get into it, but they didn't come across great in some recent reports on the second and third one. Their style seems to have clashed with the animation, the animators. So it's not all as rosy, and I appreciate it's not perfect. But
look, you
you cannot fault their, like, for me, everything they make is interesting. I like their comic sensibilities. They're always pushing themselves. They're always doing different things. They work in animation. They work in live action. They work in different genres. They did a TV show on Apple TV recently, which I can't remember the name of, but it was a murder mystery set at a high school reunion. And
Oh,
each
that was
episode-
really fun.
It was great crack.
Yeah, that was really fun. And
so-
every episode was a different genre.
Yeah,
that was fun.
they're almost. I really admire them as producers as well in the background, bringing like really interesting voices, like the creators of Mitchell's versus the Machines, which is a movie I loved a few years ago. So I think these guys are just a force for good and creative good. And so this is just the perfect storm. I can only be disappointed.
And I also love sci-fi and movies in space. And speaking of, one of our favourite TV shows, For All Mankind, is coming back for season 5 on Apple TV Plus, and we will be reviewing every episode, as we always do, of that series. So when you watch it, come over here and listen to the reviews, and let's go to the movie now. Can't wait. Buzzing.
See you shortly.
Bye.
Please state your name.
Ryland Grace. He spoke up from a coma.
I'm several light years from my apartment. And I'm not an astronaut. I'm not an astronaut. I'm not an astronaut.
If you don't go, you die. With the rest of us.
The sun
Is dying. You're the only scientist who might know what this says.
I'm just a teacher at Grover Cleveland Middle.
You have a doctorate in molecular biology. I need you to come with us.
This is Project Hail Mary. The sun is not the only star dying.
Every star was infected by its neighbor, except one.
Why?
Which is why
We build a ship to go there and find out.
It's 11.9 light years away. The astronauts die in space.
It's what you Americans would call a long shot.
Hail Mary. I get it. Who on earth is going to sign up for this?
If we do nothing, everything on this planet will go extinct.
You'll find a solution.
You are my solution.
Hi, we're back. We've just seen Project Hail Mary. If it's your first time at the cinema, we won't spoil anything until, of course, we get to Spoiler Street. Maybe the trailers just spoiled it there for you, but I would recommend going in as cold as you can because this film's great. Kathy, what did you think?
I loved it. I think it's definitely my favourite film I've seen so far this year. I love Ryan Gosling, and this film just, he's such a movie star. It's funny because we were watching obviously all the Oscars clips last week, and I was watching the Amazing Sinners musical performance, and then Ryan Gosling doing Ken, I'm Just Ken from the Oscars 2 years ago, came up and I rewatched it.
He's too talented.
He's
It's
just
not
a
fair.
triple threat. Like, he can do everything. He's just a movie star.
Don't you have to dance as well to be a triple
Yeah,
threat?
he
Have you seen him
dances.
dance? I suppose he
Yeah.
dances a bit in this movie. Yeah.
No, but he just, in general, he is a dancer. But that's beside the point. He's phenomenal. He holds the entire film together like 90% of the time on his own. I do think like Person on Their Own in Space is a really good genre. I loved the score of this film. I thought it was really beautiful. I found this film to be very funny, like laugh out loud funny, which I know was like a Lord and Miller thing, and I thought it was wonderful. I really enjoyed the story of it. I just had a blast. It looks so good. Like, I love to see big space epics. I know a lot of people are watching this in IMAX. We didn't get to, but like, frankly, on a regular, boring cinema screen, it still looked amazing. And the audience was really engaged. Like, everyone was laughing. There was moments you could have heard a pin drop.
Yeah.
I just thought it was wonderful. I'm just full of praise for this film, and I adored it. Dave, what about you?
I love this movie so much. It's excellent. It delivered. I'm very happy. I don't really, can't say it too much until we get to Spoiler Street.
Same.
Because there are so, this film is a I can't even say what it's a mishmash of, because that would be spoiling what.
Yeah,
what the
it was
central part of the
reminding
film
me
was.
of a lot of things.
I'll say I agree. It was emotional when it needed to be. It was very funny. It was heartwarming. It was quite beautiful. At its center, it's got I love films, and the Martian had this as well, and For All Mankind, which you mentioned, does this.
Do you know what? I can't wait for All Mankind now. Like, this has put me right in the mood for it.
It's got this optimistic feeling of humans can do anything if we apply ourselves and if we work together, even with the most difficult circumstances. If we learn to communicate effectively with each other, we can achieve great things. And that is, I think, a very important message that we need to remind ourselves of as humanity, and look at our own achievements as a species and what we can do when we set aside these things. And it's also another, it's a movie where science is the hero.
I know, and I'm like, yay, scientists are brilliant. Don't cut their funding.
God,
Don't mock them.
In a world where the trust in science and expertise and institutions is consistently being eroded by
politicians.
entertainers pretending to be politicians and evil people with their own personal agendas and greed. We are in deep trouble as a society, and this film celebrates that curiosity, celebrates that determination. It is all about courage in the face of adversity. It's really good. it's brilliant. I
Yeah.
thought it was fantastic. I have a few very small quibbles, which I'll get to in Spoiler Street,
I
but
have
they
a-
are
I
so
have-
minor.
I have a
almost not worthy of
non-spoiler
it.
quibble that I need to bring up.
Okay, go on.
Ryan Gosling does not know how to wear a pair of glasses.
Yeah, what is
We
going
get
on with
it.
his glass?
You're-
Okay.
You're not a nerd. You've never worn glasses in your life, right? As someone who's worn glasses for approximately the last 32 years of my life.
They're a prop for him.
You wear glasses to see, right? Whether you're long-sighted or short-sighted, that's your own business. Maybe you're both. There is no consistency in how he puts the glasses on, and then when he's not wearing them, he wears them around his neck.
under his chin.
But he doesn't have like one of those chains like that people wear. He doesn't have like a neck thing where like short-sighted people or long-sighted people will wear them. He just hangs off one ear and it's below his chin,
What-
and it's bizarre.
What drove me nuts is that there's one point where he gets into a spacesuit and he keeps the glasses on.
Because he
'Cause-
purportedly can only see
'cause
sometimes.
I guess
with
he
them.
needs to see them. Then in like I swear, like 2 minutes later, he
Doesn't have
does
the
another
glasses.
space. It doesn't. He goes out for another
Same.
spacewalk. Doesn't have the glasses.
And
on.
if the glasses are
Like-
going to become such a feature, then I need a montage with contact lenses. It's like, tell me what's happening when he doesn't have the glasses on.
in a movie that is obsessed with the minutiae of
Yeah.
attention to detail, it's like.
But we're being facetious,
come on.
but it is funny. It's like if anyone who watched Coronation
No,
Street back
I-
in the day, it's Deirdre Barlow's glasses, but half the time he's wearing them and half the time they're
Look,
hanging off
Kathy,
one
I
ear.
completely agree with you. I found it very distracting.
Yeah, but he pulls it off because he's such a movie star. He can pull anything off.
No, but I'm fine with him wearing them under his chin
I'm
for a
not.
whole scene, which looked silly. But I'm like, whatever. He's fidgety. Like,
Yeah.
what I'm not fine with is like, in movie, and this is a common thread in movies where people have glasses because as a look. Like, instead of this character needs them to see in certain situations,
Yeah.
and I'm like, there's no consistency.
Yeah.
If you
We need to
want
stop
him,
talking about the
if you-
glasses.
if he wears glasses to read, always have him wearing them for reading.
Exactly.
If he needs glasses for his spacewalk,
Yeah.
he must always wear
Uh-huh.
glasses on his spacewalk.
We need to stop talking about the glasses now.
Well, thank you for bringing that up.
But I thoroughly enjoyed this. I'm glad we didn't see the trailer because we had heard the trailer gives away a lot, so we deliberately never watched any of it. And obviously haven't read the book. So this was truly all new to me. Like, all I knew about this film was that it was Ryan Gosling in space, to which I was sold. And
Same,
then I heard it was
and
about the
something
guy who wrote
happens
The
halfway
Martian.
through, and I'm like, oh, this is the movie. And I'm like, which I wasn't expecting.
I just love how rapt our audience was. You just
Yeah.
really it felt very communal. I really enjoyed watching it in the cinema.
I think what I love with Lord and Miller is like whatever they do it with such certainty and such confidence. They seem to just have a very sure hand whatever they touch.
This is a huge film, and I mean that in the sense of the scope, the scale, that it feels nearly like Spielbergian in terms of what a big deal this film felt like as I was watching it. Do you know what I mean? I just felt like,
There was a Close Encounters reference. Did you
yeah,
spot
I
it?
did spot it, yeah. And there's just like, these are filmmakers like this very, very high level, and it's interesting we were talking about the fact that they haven't really done like a movie in ages.
Well,
And as
you're
you
right.
say, it was so confident. So the whole thing, it just felt like watching master filmmakers, basically, with so much confidence, making a huge, huge film that's then full of like really quirky and adorable, but never annoying, like Avengers style humor. Just very adorable humor. And then, of course, a lot of that is like on the shoulders of Ryan Gosling. Because if you'd put someone like a Robert Downey Jr. in here, it would have been a terrible film.
Oh, he would have been irritating. very
Yeah,
fast.
like you have to be very, very careful with someone who's talking to themselves a lot and being funny, and like Ryan Gosling's just the perfect person to do it with.
You're right, because you need someone so charming. You're
Yeah.
happy to spend this much time with them. I would say I don't know. Do they necessarily hit the heights of classic Spielberg? But there are certainly moments here where, yeah, I agree. They got that sense of awe and wonder. And it's certainly, this film is cinematic for guys who started in TV, and you wouldn't necessarily associate their work with being cinematic, and a lot of it's animation.
I want to watch some behind
So-
the scenes because the
You're
sets
right.
were like, the set's huge here.
Yeah.
Like
There's
he's
a lot
in
of
a
lovely sets.
massive, huge space set, and
Yeah.
it was so cool. I felt like I had a real geography of the place
But
as well.
what I liked is his spaceship felt very grounded. Like this felt very. This is 5 years from now.
Yeah.
Kind of technology. You know, this isn't out there sci-fi. It felt like he's got a NASA patch on his spacesuit and all this kind of stuff. So it felt very of now. Anyway, I think we should just go to spoilers.
I think we should go to spoilers because I don't want to talk about why he was going to space or what happened to him in space because I don't want to spoil anything. But I just recommend go and watch it. I think across all age groups. Like at one point I thought, God, should we have brought our kids to this? But in the end, I think it would have just been a little bit too long and a bit complex for them.
Yes,
but never
exactly.
unsuitable. It's a
No,
12A
there's nothing-
rating, and
I think-
there's nothing unsuitable. Everyone knows their own kids, but I would say it would require a fairly hefty attention to detail. And there were a few points on the science bits where I whispered to Dave what's happening.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think
Yeah.
a 10-year-old, maybe 10 to 12,
Yeah.
could probably grasp.
Now, a young kid would still enjoy it, I think, because there's cute things to enjoy. But I just think it's possibly just a little bit too long.
Yeah, and it's they might struggle to follow it. Okay, we're gonna take a quick break here. You might hear an ad, and we'll be back then for Spoiler Street.
Raise the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an Enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, we're back. Before we do get into Spoiler Street, quick shout out to all of our lovely supporters over at patreon.com/theCinemile who help to support the show and get access to, 60 something, 70
No, there's
something
80
retro movies?
80 retro movies review now. We do once a month, and we've been doing them for years. There's loads of TV.
You get to choose the movie
Yeah,
that
you
we
get
watch.
to choose every month. Our patrons choose what retro movie we're going to watch. We cover a ton of TV. As I said, we're about to start recapping every episode of For All Mankind. And we've been watching a ton of other TV, including like Vladimir and Love Story and How to Get to Heaven from Belfast. And they are all over on patreon.com.
Full spoiler special on the Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah, Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
So quick shout out to some of shout out to all of our patrons, and thank you. We love chatting to you guys every day because we're in there talking every day.
Yeah, and if someone is on Patreon and hasn't actually got the app, you should never sign up through the app because Apple will charge you more, which is really annoying. But once you are signed up through a browser for the price of a cup of coffee a month, so very cheap Patreon that we have, then go into the app because that's where all the chats are and it's really fun.
Good advice. I'm going to shout out some of our new patrons. We've had a lot of new ones lately, so I'm not going to shout out all of you here, but I will shout you out in a future episode. But quick thank you to new patrons: Tessa, Elena Hogan, Melly, Shannon Butler, Devoidser Zero, and Emma Cashman. Thank you all for subscribing for the price of a cup of coffee.
Well, actually, we say that coffee's more expensive than our Patreon now. Tessa joined specifically for our Heated Rivalry episode. So thanks, Tessa.
Thanks, Tessa. All right, Kathy, let's talk spoilers now for Project Hail Mary. So
it's all about Rocky.
Yeah, this movie,
so
Rocky,
cute.
is wonderful. But so it's funny you did call Spielberg for two reasons. One, because it reminded me of E.T. a lot.
Oh my God, unbelievable.
Two, the other thing is funny that the Spielberg of that era, I think, is long gone. This Disclosure Day trailer ran before this, and it just looks dull as dishwater.
The thing is, though, I will say,
and maybe it's great.
it's a really bad trailer.
Yeah.
I will reserve judgment, as we always do on the film.
But when was the last time, I said this in our Patreon yesterday, when was the last time you were excited by a Steven Spielberg film that was coming up or that you watched? Because it's been a long time for
what
me.
was the last movie he made? I don't remember.
Exactly.
No, not exactly. I have a terrible memory.
Okay. What about Ready Player One?
No,
that was
hated
bad.
that, yeah.
What about, I don't know.
You can't remember any of them.
Bridge of Spies was all right, but what are we doing here?
Yeah, but Dave Spielberg
that was also 15 years ago.
But Spielberg isn't putting himself out there directing movies every 2 or 3 years anymore. You know, he's at a different phase of his career.
No, he's been putting them out non-stop. That's what I'm saying. Nothing's hitting. Anyway, we can't get into Spielberg.
This is a movie podcast and we don't have a fucking clue what we're talking about now. So we're talking about Spielberg's recent catalogue.
I'm telling you,
he
has been knocking them out every couple of years, and
the trailer for his
new
movie is terrible. And what I love about the creature Rocky here is the real puppetry.
Yes,
It's
voiced. I just looked it up.
tangible.
Voiced by the artist, the puppet artist.
It's funny because we were
great
like, who's the
performance.
voice? Everything about, and look, we know it's a tried and tested thing. Make something vaguely puppy-like, vaguely baby-like, super cute, put it with an adult mate, it will be brilliant. And yes, it was brilliant. And I think for Ryan Gosling's...
Mandalorian Grogu trailer ran. It's the same formula.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
And I think Ryan Gosling, like, his performance is amazing, and I think he could act it in front of a tennis ball. But I quickly Googled it when we were leaving the cinema, and yeah, it was a real puppet that he acted in front of the whole time.
Yes.
And like their relationship, the fact that they can never touch.
Yeah.
And they always have to have this barrier was kind of adorable, but really them learning each other's language. And when they first meet, because Ryan Gosling's so lonely, you know, and when they meet, it was just done so wonderfully. So it ended up nearly being like, it's like a romance, the film, because they're falling in love with each other platonically.
Yeah.
And I found their love story, their friendship story really beautiful.
Brilliant.
Love to see
Absolutely
positive
brilliant.
representation of male friendship on screen, male affection.
How do you know that Rocky was a male?
Well, he anointed
in any
him.
sense?
He was anointed
sure,
male.
Yeah, okay.
He was a perceived male, whether or not, I don't even know if they have, you know, sex or gender or whatever over on his planet, but their relationship was lovely, and we don't often get to see like tender male friendships on screen, so I loved that. And I thought it was honestly them learning each other's language and everything was my favourite part of the film.
But them
and like whatever about the mission.
Like there's that one line of dialogue where it's like he tries to describe a word. Do you remember? Rocky tries to tell him a word for that you are. He tries to say brave.
Yeah.
And then he tries to describe brave, and it's like when you would like give up something for somebody else, and that's really the arc of Grace's character.
Yeah.
Really.
And at the end, he gives it all up for Rocky.
And I thought that was really like, and when he does that, but Rocky also, at the moment where Rocky comes out of his shell to save his life and drags him.
That was
and
wonderful.
the sizzling noise from him being in our atmosphere was really hurting me physically. Like it was wincing.
I do have to say at the end, though.
Because you care for him. Like, that's great puppetry.
But I thought Rocky was dead. So when they brought him back to life, it was a little bit rolling my eyes. And then at the end, when he's like, I need to go and rescue Rocky. And then it's like, oh no, Rocky's not there. Oh, Rocky showed up at the mirror. I did say, fool me once into thinking Rocky is dead. Like, shame on you. But actually now, I ain't falling for this.
I will say, we both felt this. There's a moment right at the end, this kind of additional little ending we get where...
to rescue Rocky.
Grace has gone, and then he discovers there's they've kind of had their goodbye, and it felt like the end of the movie. And then he's like, oh no, there's a problem with the things, and now I have to go make a choice. And it all felt, I'd say in the book, that was another 100 pages.
It just felt,
but it just felt very. It felt like we were done. I felt like I could. The film's done now. I don't really want more film, and I felt like we were about to go into another half an hour at this point.
I panicked, but then I looked at my watch and I said, no, it's not going to take that long. And I know that sounds terribly uncinematic of me, but like, this is what happened. I ordered a large Sprite on the way in, needed to go to the toilet for the whole film.
Rookie error.
I was like, the film's about to end. They've said their goodbye. I kind of relaxed into myself, and then that happened, and I thought, oh dear God. No, I just thought I nearly getting to a toilet, and then lo and behold, you had to go and do a rescue mission.
That was sort of unraveling revealing itself to be what felt like another substantial act, but
it wasn't.
And it wasn't. It's only 10 minutes,
yeah.
and the problem is,
it paid off.
Yeah, no, it did, and like it is good. It's well communicated. However, it is also, it felt a little bit rushed and condensed. It felt like there was a big amount of material there that they condensed. So it was like, oh no, there's a problem. Oh no, I've got it. So anyway, that's one of my small quibbles.
But then
the
film had to do with it from the book, obviously, because in the end, Ryan Gosling's on Rocky's planet.
Yeah, I know.
So if the film couldn't get away with not doing it, and the ultimate ending is, after everything he's been through, where they literally have to attack and drug him to get him onto the ship, which I liked how that was all revealed. Actually, in the end, without hesitation, really, other than he wanted to make sure Earth got the logistics it needed, he was straight out the door for Rocky. And I think as an emotional arc, that was really beautiful.
No,
he would
it
do
works.
anything to get to save Rocky.
I'm just saying that the pacing wobbled at the end.
It did wobble,
and it felt like a hat on a hat.
Did.
But it is a good ending, and it's the right ending.
It's a really good ending.
The other quibble I had was, you just mentioned it there, that there's two big dramatic moments here that I felt were undercut by comedy. Like Lord and Miller just couldn't, and Ryan Gosling just kind of couldn't help themselves. And you mentioned, bad Marvel humor, which has been raked over the coals with, fairly so. But I remember Taika Waititi always falling into this problem as well, like big dramatic moments kind of underscored with a punchline. And
yeah, like in one of the Thor movies when his entire planet's destroyed and
Yeah,
then there's a joke and we're like,
exactly.
what's the joke here?
And so that you've just ruined the moment. And
Yeah.
that happened twice in this movie for me.
oh, I didn't feel that.
Yeah, well, good. I'm glad
Mm-hmm.
maybe it was just me, but I'd love to hear if anyone else thought this. One, the moment where there's a big explosion in the flashbacks and all the scientists die and he's sitting at the table and she tells him it's got to be you. And instead of staying in that moment, they should have cut to the bit at the end of that scene where we're on Ryan Gosling's face and this is sinking in for him, and he's a very good dramatic actor, so he
He's
sells
brilliant.
that bit. But right before that you get all this banter between him and them where they're like, I can't do that, I'm and it's good banter, it's just not here. Like he's like, I can't go to space, I'm not an astronaut. Oh, it's easy, you pick it up, oh come we're it's like, but I'd
liked
have
all
to
that.
die. And then they're like, yeah, you're in good company. It's just like,
I liked all that. I actually found that
Okay.
really fun. And also, we've already sat with him in the film in the future, trying to figure out why he's there. So like, we get I get it. Like I didn't need.
no, but that's a
it to be
big dramatic
then.
moment. Let it be dramatic is what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. I felt the
I
other
didn't think
bit. The
that.
other bit was the very dark and interesting scene where the German head of the Project Hail Mary, who was great,
I loved her.
tells him, and great little scene there where she does the karaoke. Brilliant.
Oh, that was really emotional. Yeah,
Really good. But and so all the stuff with them is great. But when she tells him, I'm not asking you, we're going to drug you anyway. Like that's a very interesting idea. It's very dark.
I
and it's
wanted
kind
him
of
to say like, I
morally
don't consent
grey.
to this.
Yeah, it's and like I was like, oh my god, that's really interesting. And as I'm dealing with this, and as he is being cornered into literally pushed into a corner by two armed men, I'm like, this is like really interesting, dramatic stuff. And it's like, no, Ryan Gosling is now he's up on the table, and now he's up on a shelf, and now he's running around, and people started laughing in the audience, and I'm like,
Yeah, I
we
was one of them.
shouldn't be laughing here. It's like, yes, they can deliver the laughs, they got the laugh, but I'm like, Lord and Miller, like, please, I'd love a little bit of restraint in some of these moments where you hit the dramatic beat, you did it, and now I'm like, no comedy here. Save the comedy
I know
for
what
the
you mean.
next
They
scene.
could have just saved, like they could have just backed up. And in that second example where he literally didn't consent to going to space,
I was like,
agree,
yeah,
they could have backed
restrained
off. Yeah.
here, please. Anyway,
But he's so funny then when he jumped up on the bookshelf, I laughed because he's such a physical actor, and that's one of the reasons that he works so well in this role. Is so much of the film is him floating around, rolling around, running around,
Yeah.
jumping around. Like,
And he's so good
And it's
at
funny
it.
when you were saying when does he dance earlier. Have you seen La La Land? Like he's an actual
Of
dancer.
course,
He's a
yeah.
Disney kid. Like,
Yeah,
he's from like the Disney Club, He's a wonderful dancer, and he's so athletic, and he's just such a physical actor. And like when they brought in the scene of like Rocky running around in the ball,
Oh,
that was
very good.
so funny.
Very,
and
very
he's
good.
running after him, and the annoying roommate, and he was whispering to
Yeah.
camera like the diary room
Pitch
and Big
perfect.
Brother. That stuff was unbelievable. I loved it so much. And I had such a good time. I'm so glad we went to see this film. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it was absolutely perfect. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about
Well,
it. It felt like the movies it reminded me of were E.T., Sunshine, and Arrival.
Yeah, I was
Which-
thinking the same. And a bit of Gravity. Remember, Sandra Bullock was on her own for a lot of that
Yeah,
film, wasn't
yeah,
she?
there's a bit of
And
Gravity in
obviously,
it,
of
yeah.
course, The Martian. How could it not? Elements. And for me, a lot of season 1 of For All Mankind.
Yes, all the signs.
Basically all the good space.
I will say, I really didn't think there was going to be an alien or any aliens in this. Just because having seen the Martian, I thought this was
I knew
just
there was some companion
humans.
from unfortunately,
Oh, you did?
newspaper headline like reviews I'd seen, but I thought it was like a droid situation.
Oh, okay.
I knew he had some form of companion, but I didn't realise it was an alien.
So I was really feeling the, and I'm looking forward to seeing the trailers for this because I'm curious to see how much they give away because I'm
when
like,
we were at the cinema like 2 weeks ago, the trailer came on, and Dave's like, I don't want to see this trailer. And
I
Dave
left,
ran
yeah,
out-
I'll
no,
leave.
Dave ran out of the cinema.
Oh, but
Whereas
this
I
tells
just
you how
covered
excited
my-
I was for this movie.
Yeah, but I just covered my ears and looked down.
Yeah, but I
You
don't.
didn't need to
I don't
sprint
want
out of the
I
cinema.
don't want to. I don't want to hear. It's hard not to hear. Anyway, I'd rather just. I didn't sprint.
You
I
did.
left. I left at a very leisurely pace.
Well, you sprinted as much as you can.
Okay,
at
what's
your,
weirder?
At your
What's
fitness
weirder,
level.
Kathy? What's weirder? A guy normally walking out of the cinema, maybe slightly hurriedly,
Running.
maybe at a slight saunter, or a man sitting in a chair with his hands over his ears going la 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 la.
I wasn't going la la la, I just had my hands over
No,
my
but what's
ears,
weirder?
looked down and nobody was looking at me. Anyway, we better go. I actually think the battery's going to die in this recorder. Thank you for listening. Let us know what you thought of Project Hail Mary. Already I know from the listeners who've already watched it that she loved it. I think universally we've received massive acclaim in both our Patreon inbox and our Instagram inbox. So let us know what you thought.
I think, like you said, this is number one film of the year for me.
Yeah.
And
Now it's
gonna
only
be-
March.
It's going to be hard to beat.
It's only March.
Yeah, but we said the same about Sinners this time last year. We said, did we just see the best film of the year?
Was
And
Sinners
we
your number one last
absolutely
year?
did. Yeah, and
Oh
yours.
yeah, oh yeah, I remember now.
And so that's what I'm saying. I'm like, there's going to be
I
hard
knew
to
it
beat
was my
this.
number one. I couldn't remember it was your number one.
Yeah.
Right, we need to go. Thank you everyone for listening. Come over and follow us on Instagram. If you enjoy this podcast, please rate and subscribe wherever you listen. It means a lot, and we really appreciate when we get those reviews.
And you can always email us, thecinemile@gmail.com. Bye.
Bye.
I'm Grace. I'm gonna call you Rocky. Thumbs up. No, that's thumbs down. You would do the thumbs up. It's close enough.